Good morning, Texas. It's Wednesday, September 19th. I'm Isabel Miller.
I'm Kayla Peterman.
And I'm Hannah Sauer. Thanks for joining us this morning for our first show of the year.
How crazy. It's our first show. It's actually my last first show ever.
Oh my god.
How weird is that?
That sounds pretty weird, I'm not gonna lie. How about you? How are you feeling about this year right now?
I honestly think it's going to be a great year. We have a lot of good things in store, and I'm super excited for it.
Me too. School finally feels like it's normal again, going back to the shows. So I'm really, really hopeful and excited for the school year.
Yeah, I'm also really hopeful for the UT football team this year. We're actually doing pretty well based on the first two games. UT scored a win against the USC Trojans this weekend. Fans in the stands went wild as 103,507 broke the record for most in attendance.
So I actually went to the USC game, and it was definitely crazy packed, but there was so much good energy in there, and I think that actually might have helped us win, and I'm so excited that we won.
Yeah, I mean, the energy there was so much fun, so crazy. So crazy. I actually made the Longhorn Twitter page, the Texas Longhorn Twitter page, and you can see me slow-mo cheering, like how excited I am that we scored some touchdowns. But it was a lot of fun.
So what's it like to be Twitter famous?
Oh, it's basically the same as being regular famous, you know.
Well, finding cheap places to eat on and around campus can be difficult, especially when you have a limited number of dine-in dollars. I went out in search of a delicious, filling bite to eat that won't break the bank for our new segment, Budget Bites. Take a look. Hi, my name is Kayla Peterman, and I'm a broke college student, and I'm sure you're in the same boat as me. You want to go out to eat, but you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on a meal that's not even going to fill you up, something that may not even be that good for you, just to go out to eat. I'm not about that. So I've decided I'm going to make it my mission this year to go and find all of the best places here in Austin that are going to be super cheap, super healthy, and really easily accessible to college students like me who can't drive, or for people who choose not to drive. So, since I hate eating alone, I've decided to bring my friend Raymond along with me to go and find this one exact place. Our first stop is Arlo's. It has a variety of locations that they park their truck at. The most accessible to UT students and where we ate at was near Spider House off of Guadalupe. Their menu may be tight, but with completely plant-based protein and low prices, it's hard to beat. I chose the chicken tacos with a side of chips and salsa, totaling $8.
Okay, not gonna lie, I'm kind of shook. Kayla definitely got more bang for her buck because honestly it looks good, it's a lot, and I'm ready. So, dig in.
I was thoroughly surprised with the dish. It was delicious, and I managed to stay full for the rest of the afternoon. For Good Morning Texas, I'm Kayla Peterman.
I can't believe you got so much food for so cheap, and it looked delicious.
Yeah, it really did. How did you find this place?
So one of my coworkers recommended that I go. Summer, shout out to you. She said it was an all vegan and super cheap food truck, and I was like, okay, I'll bite. Like, I've never really eaten that much vegan food before, and really, I didn't even miss the chicken. It was just so delicious. Like I said, it filled me up for the rest of the afternoon and didn't break my wallet. So all in all, a good stop.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like a good stop. In other news, September is National Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month. Cameron Trout and I took to the streets to ask UT students if they know where they can access resources and how much these services cost.
I'm not sure exactly where to go to get mental health help here.
If you go down towards the Student Services Building on Dean Keaton, you can get help for mental illnesses and substance abuse.
I think you can go to the Liberal Arts Building, and then there's a mental health department in there. I've seen it before.
I know we can go to the University Counseling Center, but I'm not sure how much it costs.
Isn't it free, I think?
I think counseling at UT is free for your first session.
I think counseling and those services, they're usually covered by insurance. If not, I think it's like $10.
I know that counseling is free.
It's free.
Good Morning Texas reached out to a professor researching addiction and substance abuse. Dr. Lori Holleron-Steiker said, due to the stigma attached to the drugs and alcohol, there aren't enough of us having the conversation and asking the questions because people are afraid to. I'd love to help create a culture where people are having dialogues and asking questions. On your screen are resources around campus for those who are seeking help, as well as Professor Holleron's email.
Well, honestly, I want to thank you for putting that up there, because if I was ever in a situation like that, I really wouldn't know where to go, and now I do. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that the university is able to offer these resources to students, especially because we're all so young and we're tackling life one step at a time, and to be able to have a resource if we're struggling like this is a really, really good thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good story to do. I know I myself didn't know that we had all these resources and that so many of them were free until I went out and did the research.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. After the break, Hannah gives you this week's news and weather at the forecast.
We'll be back with more from Good Morning Texas.
Coming up on Good Morning Texas.
We learn where to eat well on a budget.
We find out about UT's substance misuse resources.
And we relive UT's record-breaking victory against USC.
All of this and more coming up on Good Morning Texas.
We're back with Hannah in our News and Weather Center. What's the latest in the news, Hannah?
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is being accused of sexual assault by his former high school acquaintance, according to NPR. Christine Blasey Ford says that the incident occurred at a high school party in the 80s. Democratic senators have called for his accuser to be heard in a hearing, joined by some Republican senators. Trump says he feels bad for his wife, children, and Kavanaugh himself. A poll from Quinnipiac University shows Ted Cruz is widening the gap ahead of the Texas Senate election. He takes the lead with 54%, followed by Beto O'Rourke, who has 45%. Bloomberg reports that Cruz has an advantage since he is running as an incumbent with Republican governor. If Beto wins the Texas election, he will be the first Democrat in the Senate seat since 1993. Today, students are invited to meet with architects to update the Moody College Plaza. The town hall-style meeting is for students to share their thoughts on changes they'd like to see. You can voice your opinion from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at the Below Media Center. An email survey will be sent out to students who are unable to attend.
Thanks, Hannah. You know, I'm actually pretty excited for this new update at the Moody College Plaza. It's looking a little old, a little dreary, but I think that it definitely needs a facelift.
I 100% agree. It's looking a little gray, a little dingy. I think that we deserve a facelift for sure. And hopefully our weather won't look too dreary either. How's the weather looking, Hannah?
Well, Longhorns, you can expect more sunny weather for the next 24 hours, but beyond that, it's looking pretty gray. Today, we see mostly sunny skies with a high at 92 and low around 74. For Thursday, we will see a change in those skies with a 30% chance of rain during the day. Friday doesn't look any better with a 60% chance of rain continuing through the evening. And you might need a rain poncho for game day. There's a 50% chance of rain throughout the day going into the evening. Sunday comes with cloudy skies and a 40% chance of rain. However, that number does drop to 20% as we near the evening. My advice, Longhorns, enjoy the weather while it lasts because it looks like we're in for a wet weekend. Live from the Weather Center, Hannah Sauer.
Thanks, Hannah. Well, I'm actually kind of excited about the dreary weather just because it's going to cool down a little bit. It's been so hot lately, and I would much rather not be as sweaty when I walk to class.
Oh, I totally disagree. It's been rainy for the past week. I need some more sun. I need to go to Barton Springs and all that fun stuff.
Well, I can't argue with that there. Barton Springs is a pretty nice place to go. However, I'm all for the cooler weather. All right, stick around. We've got more coming up for you next on Good Morning Texas. Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. This morning we welcome Health and Society freshman Destiny Brannon. Destiny gathered support from the UT community this summer after her high school took her valedictorian status away after graduation, putting her scholarship in jeopardy. Since then, she has raised more than $40,000 through a GoFundMe campaign for her tuition. Destiny, we're glad to have you on the set and here on the 40 Acres. So walk us through your situation. What exactly happened?
To make a long story short, I was valedictorian, I gave a speech, I got recognized multiple times, and then a few weeks after graduation, they just told my mom, pretty much, we made a miscalculation, so it just kind of is what it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. Throughout the process, they weren't helpful at all. Yeah, that's pretty much a long story short. They weren't helpful. They weren't considerate about it, and they didn't care about it.
So you were just notified suddenly throughout the summer. It wasn't like was it a formal letter that you were sent or
No.
anything like that? No.
No.
Wow. I'm
No,
so
we
sorry
never
to hear that.
received an apology or anything.
Oh my gosh. Well, what was that experience like? Like, walk us through like some of the emotions you might have felt.
Yeah, so initially, I was very discouraged because UT was my first choice, and so it was like hard knowing that that might not be able to happen anymore. But now I'm just at a place of where I'm happy. So I'm glad I went through that experience. I got a lot of exposure with things. I met a lot of people, and it just showed me how many great people there are in the world because I received donations from like Ireland and a lot of places. So it was a great experience overall.
That's incredible. And like we said before, we're really happy to have you here. So what is the status of your scholarship and like your relationship with that school district now?
My mom still works there. She doesn't want to be, but she does. I don't really have a relationship with the school district. I mean, it just kind of is what it is, and that's just where I'm at with it at this point.
All right. And how does it feel to finally be here at UT through all of the trials and tribulations you faced beforehand?
Yeah, it feels really good to be here. I've been kind of stressed out, but it's okay.
Have you made any memorable experiences so far here?
No, not really. I've just really been stressed out a lot, reading a lot, and I just got back from being home, so that was good to go back.
Well, it will get better, and like I said, we're really, really happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming out to talk to us. Up next, we get our snack on with Peter Rushford from Share Snacks, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. We're joined by Peter Rushford from Share Snacks, an organic, gluten-free, vegan, paleo healthy snack. Welcome, Peter. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm excited to be here. This is a great studio, and it's a great opportunity for us to talk to some folks here in Austin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, tell us what Share Snacks is.
So we are a farm-to-table snack food company, headquartered right here in Austin. And so we take known categories of snacks, like trail mix as a category, and elevate it with a more curated recipe, as well as more responsibly sourced organic ingredients.
Okay, well, it's such an interesting idea. Where did you come up with the idea? How did you come up with it?
That's a long story. It might take more than 5 minutes. But I was formerly a professional skier. I grew up in Vermont, and then a competitive runner. But in 2013, I changed my fitness and diet over to CrossFit, yoga, and started eating paleo. And at that point, I needed a snack I could graze on. And healthy snacks are hard to find that taste good.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you find those healthy bars and they taste kind of like the box they came in. I started making, I like trail mix, I'm an outdoor guy, and I started making my own batches, and the first few were not too bad. So I started thinking, I wonder what the world's best recipe would look like. I worked in the outdoor industry most of my adult life with a lot of really inspiring brands. So this whole notion of a ground-up reasoning to build something, like what's the best version of this look like instead of going off someone else's ideas, was kind of the thought process. So I spent 3 years actually curating this recipe. It had as many as 11 ingredients, as few as 7. We settled on 9 to get it's almost like putting an orchestra together of texture and flavor profiles and taste, so it creates a symphony of flavor for your mouth. And then once, that's just the ingredients, and then once I had the ingredients, I mean, you can buy ingredients in your local stores.
Right.
I spent another year sourcing, trying to find the best version of each of those 9 ingredients. So, the end result was this kind of next level trail mix that we introduced and launched the brand with.
I mean, like, I can definitely relate to needing to find a healthy snack. I'm a big snacker, and I'm usually eating chips or candy. So who is your target market or your target customers? Like, who are the people that are going to buy this?
So, definitely that active person who, but really, just, I mean, if you think of the whole category of snacks, like everybody likes a snack, and we all want to eat healthy, but, you know, there's not as much of that available. So, you know, certainly somebody who's outdoors, like, this is very, it's calorie dense, it's got a lot of protein. You know, we've got 4 different kinds of nuts in it: almonds, cashews, pistachios, as well as pecans, which are right here from Texas. Because after all the sourcing I did, Texas is the best place to buy pecans.
Yes, it is.
They were here before Texans were.
Oh, yeah. But where did you come up with the name Share Snacks? Where does that come from?
So if I had $1 for every hour I spent working on the name, I'd already be a millionaire. I sat on the sidelines, not launching the brand for about 18 months because I didn't have, like, you don't want to know what the working name. So the working name was Pete's Nuts.
Okay, not bad.
Well, imagine what that T-shirt would have looked like. I heart. So anyway, so Share. I mean, we just literally just kept working. I mean, I kept moving forward with the idea about launching the brand, and still didn't. I knew that Pete's Nuts wasn't the name I wanted to use. It was just the name to, you know, just a working name. So, you know, it just through a lot of sort of trial and error, and started getting back to what inspired me when I was a sales rep with all these outdoor brands that I worked with. I love telling the stories, sharing the stories, and about how they came to be and what their point of difference was. And so, you know, we kind of like sharing, and that just sort of light bulb started going off, and I started thinking about it. And, you know, it's one of the most fundamental ways we connect as humans. It's one of the oldest words in the English language. And, you know, the ability to have a brand name that's also a concept, a platform to integrate back. Like, think about Kind bars, right? So to the degree that that subconscious connection or conscious connection of kind back to the actual product, but then with sharing, I mean, it's such an enormous, I'm so excited about it. It was everything I was hoping it could be for a brand name because of that ability to have a concept to tie back to it. So.
Right. Well, I mean, it looks delicious. I can't wait to try some after the show. But I want to thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. So you should follow us on Twitter at Good Morning TX for the news update throughout the week. I'm Isabel Miller, wishing you a happy, happy Wednesday.